Do you think spending more time at work is going to help you become more successful? So if you spend more hours reading emails or doing meetings or even making decisions, is going to help you achieve more success? Well, here's the bitter truth. At the end of this video, I'm going to show you that doing more is actually the fastest way to dilute your results. If you feel constantly busy but rarely effective, the problem is not time. It is that too many things have been allowed to compete for your attention. And when everything feels important, nothing truly is. The first theory of today is called the Pareto principle, or commonly known as the 80-20. It basically explains that 80% of the results come from only 20% of the efforts. Yet most executives consider that all the tasks are equally important, and that is the big illusion. Strategic prioritization begins by asking a dangerous question. Which small set of actions actually make the biggest difference? Everything else is just background noise. The second framework in this lesson is called the Eisenhower matrix. It basically compares the urgency versus importance. So urgency always demands attention. It feels persuasive, it feels important, and it feels responsible. But in truth, most times urgency is just somebody else's problem or anxiety passed on to you. Important work builds results, but urgent work just consumes time. If you don't separate the two, urgency will always win. And over time, urgency trains you to abandon strategy. The third and last framework that we're going to discuss today is called the Moscow framework. It stands for must do, should do, could do, and won't do. Now, everybody understands what must do. They're the things that you cannot delegate, you cannot eliminate, and you have to do them by yourself. But a lot of people are not willing to define what the won't do activities are. Those are the ones that are consuming a lot of your time and your efforts without any progress. Now, strategic thinking requires you that you must subtract those activities and tasks for you to be fully effective. Here's the thing. Won't do does not mean that we are never going to do this task. It just means that we are not doing the task at the cost of what matters most. We shall reschedule these tasks to after we are done with the more important tasks. This is where leadership shows up. It is in knowing when to say no and in choosing when to wait. So in summary, doing less does not mean that you're less effective or that you're lowering your standards. It means that you are protecting the results from distraction, you're refusing to let urgency hijack importance, and you're accepting that saying no is part of doing your job well. Here is the challenge for today's lesson. I want you to think of a task that you feel is very important and that consumes a lot of your time but does not provide you with a lot of value. I want you to categorize that task into urgent, important, or won't do. And in the comment section, you write for me Eisenhower, Pareto, or Moscow, whichever has challenged you the most. If this lesson has challenged you and taught you how to do strategic prioritization, please like, comment, and share with your colleagues who you think are very busy but are not performing very well. This is Dr. Joseph Halim, Simplifying Management.